Okay, I'm here again. How's it looking this time? Looks time. No message this time about an issue. Sheesh. Think I need more than coffee after that silly shenanigans. Hey, Joan. Okay, good. I can be seen and heard. That is excellent. Hello, Ian, Helen. Oh, foot up. So I don't know. I don't seem to. Hello, Lori. All right. Yes. For a change, I was ready on time and everything. And I'm still 20 minutes late, thanks to YouTube. Never saw that message before, Ian. This big yellow box came up above my live screen saying, your connection is weak or whatever. Wait till we try to connect you again or whatever. Must have been a server issue. Hey, Grammy. Hey, Dr. Dot, Joan. Congratulations, Joan. Man, I was trying to get on with eye stencils and she got back to me once, but then I sent her my blog with all my sample stencils, but she didn't get back to me. But congrats for you. Yay. Woohoo. Yeah. Okay. So, welcome to Music Scrap, the Musical Scrapper. This is Jean, in case some of you don't know my name, my other name, my real name. And in case you're wondering why my handle is the Musical Scrapper, it's because when I joined Twitter and YouTube and Ustream, I was doing paper crafts and scrapbooking and mini albums only. And being a music teacher, I decided on the handle Music Scrap or Musical Scrapper. Now I'm doing so many other things, but I've got to keep my handle because, you know, most people know me as that. So I can't change it. Hey, Joycey. All right. So got some happy mail here first before I go on to my Peerless Watercolors. Got a surprise package in the mail from Mindy, and she sent me this lovely Etude magazine. Look at the year, 1943. And it's in like pristine condition, except for some yellowing pages, which is, you know, gotta love that. They always have some music samples in it. This is my second Etude magazine that I have. And no, this is not getting cut up. This is going in my collection pile. And of course I have to read it. I'm going to have to use a magnifying glass to read it. But anyway, there's always lots of great info about musicians and conductors and music during the time. The back here, there's music, scores. Yeah, no, I can't play that. Not that good a pianist, not even close. But then back here, there's some really cool old ads for music stores and buying instruments and lots of fun stuff to look through. Love it, love it, love it. Yeah. Oh, I'm not cutting it up. And then she sent me some map pages. Germany by the look of it. Yeah, Wittenberg and so that's very cool. Then the other surprise that I almost didn't even see in the package because I was so like in love with this magazine. Then I noticed this little bubble wrap package and I was like, ooh, what's this? Hi, Travis. See, I recognized it, Mindy. Thank you so much. Cool. And I'm sure you guys all recognize this from Dee Dee. How yummy is this? And it's so nice compared. It's light. Quite a bit lighter than the Derwent one. And it does fit better in your hand. It's skinnier. So I've got some Derwent erasers, pack in there. My poor Derwent eraser, the battery cover disappeared for it. And I think it got accidentally swept up with garbage without realizing what it was. And it's a goner. Put that back here behind me. Hopefully safely. Oh, no. Actually, the eraser goes in my drawer. Oh. Okay. Hey, Judy. Hey, Kathy. Hey, Monique. Okay. So I bought these from Wish. Now, what's really funny is I do have some other brushes that I ordered on the same day that haven't come yet. And these they came here like got here a week and a half ago. So I guess it was a different store. But these are so nice. They're like liquid makeup brushes. So they have in the center, there's the you can't tell online, but the brushes in the very center of this are slightly shorter than the ones around it. So you can put your liquid makeup and then it'll blend. But why I bought it is I thought it would work nice. I have 10 of them. I was going to perhaps keep one for my actual makeup, but they have a chemical smell to them, and I'm not sure. Yeah, it is less. So I'm going to leave one out for my actual makeup brush. But there's a chemical smell, but I think it might have been just the plastic bag that it was wrapped in. Hey, Sharon. Hey, Joey or Joie de Vivre. Oh, by the way, Dee Dee, if you guys, I don't know, Dee Dee, it's Minuet de Bonheur. Minuet de Bonheur. All right. So I thought I could use them because they're so nice and soft for my ink blending. Oh, hold on. It looks like my autofocus is somehow on. One moment, please. There we go. Okay, get it focused and turn it off. There we go. All right. So that is what I thought. I will have one for each color family. And I will also keep separate the ones that I use for my distress and the ones I use for my archival, because the distress part of it's not waterproof, so I don't want to contaminate my archival ink pads, but I have enough, so I should be able to. I'm going to take one out, and I'm going to sit it out for a couple of days and see if that chemical smell disappears. If it doesn't, I won't use it for my makeup. I don't do bronzers, so. Okay. So those were 2 for $2. So they were $1 a piece. Plus think I ended up paying $15 total. $15 total for the 10 makeup brushes, and you can't even buy one makeup brush here. So another thing that I picked up, I showed you these the other day, but I didn't have them primed. These are from Dessert. No, they're not from, these ones aren't from Desserts. These ones were from Jerry's Artorama. They had a buy and try sale, things on good deals. So these are by Office Mate. So they are paint markers, alcohol paint. And they have a decent size, a good size bullet nib. The size of the medium, or the larger Posca. But they write nice and smooth. And I'm going to make a little circle here so that I can show you the white later. So they only had these three options: a silver, a black, a silver. I should make the black here. Now the white obviously is not going to show up on this, but I am going to put it through the black so you'll see that it is opaque. And they are acrylic paint markers, so, you know. And let's do the silver on the black. And it actually kind of looks white. It looks whiter than the white, but it does have, this is still way too bright. So it looks whiter. Get the, you can see it's shiny. It is fairly shimmery. It is fairly shimmery as far as silver. It shows up more silver on the white, though. That's interesting. Okay, now, sorry, I wanted to do this. It's the silver, so it must be more opaque than the white one because it's showing up more. No, the white showed up better than that one. That stroke. It just wasn't shaken enough or something. So that was those. And then, of course, forgetting that those were coming, when I was at Walmart, I knew my Posca white and black are out. And I'm planning on doing some art journaling in between my watercoloring now. Hi, Jillian. Hey, Josie. Oh. So I bought these. They are the Simply by De La Rowney. So they have about the same tip as those Office Mates. A little wider. A little blacker too, actually. It's blacker. These were at Jerry's Artorama. I think they were like $1.25 maybe a marker or something. And these were 2 for $3 something. Want to make sure that that black is dry to show you the opaqueness. So here's the white De La Rowney. Much more opaque than the one from Jerry's Artorama. So that's good to know, the De La Rowney one. But wait, there's more, as Julie Faye Van Balzer says. I bought these ones from Desserts. And they are deco markers by Pebeo, the makers of those yummy Dinah colors. I do like their acrylic paints too. Apparently their watercolors aren't that great. I've had their watercolors about them. They are student quality watercolors. They're not professional. But these are really nice. And there's a cream, which I've never seen a cream in a paint marker, like buff titanium. So there's buff titanium white, and they're black. They come with a spare nib. These have a plastic nib. And it's really quite fine a nib. It's lovely, a lovely size nib. All right, so I want to make sure I'm still in the picture. And good control because it has the stiffer nib. So that's nice. And I'm pretty sure these can be refilled. It doesn't say on the website, but I'm thinking I can make them work. So here's the buff titanium. Oops, hold on. It's hard to see on the... No, I've got it primed, but not quite. And the white, I'm just going to scribble that off, a little black on it. The black wasn't dry. So here's the white on the black. All right, so deco. They have various types of markers. They have oil paint markers too. These ones are the acrylic, supposed to work on glass and whatever. That still needs a little shaking and priming. So does this one. Oops, can't even spell today. Oh, have to go slower, Jean. You have to watch out with paint markers. You can't always write at the speed you would with a pen. And that's what happens sometimes with people with their white gel pens. And they complain that, you know, their marker doesn't work. So anyway, all of these will go in my... And they say to store them horizontal after opening and priming. So I need to find a spot to put those. I'll stick them underneath my computer monitor table there. Yeah, Joan. Joan's stencils are now going to be in iStencils under Patty's. On the website, they'll go on Patty's, but her name will be there as designer. Isn't that great? Woohoo. You guys will be able to. I told her too. I told Joan too when I saw her designs. I said, you need to be putting those out for sale because people will want to buy your designs. So that was what I wanted to share. What's on the agenda today? Peerless Watercolors. One moment, please. Something weird is happening. One moment, I need to get my settings up here because I just need to move my camera a little bit. There we go. All right. I did, Jillian. But the bag is too big. I'll take a picture. I'll take a picture of the bag. The red heart balls of yarn, I didn't look closely enough. I mean, it's still a good deal, the price I got them for, but I didn't realize it was 100-gram balls. I thought it was like the 300-gram balls, but anyway, doesn't matter. I did get a couple of other cool things, though. I got these for the tips of my round knitting needles. Stoppers so your work doesn't fall off your round knitting needles. I got a digital, I got a row counter. And then I got this. I do have obviously a but what I thought was cool on this, Jillian, is I never had a swatch measure. So you can swatch out your 3 inches or 5 millimeters by 5. Oh, it's on the other side. 2 inches by 2 inches millimeters on this side. So that you can swatch. So I thought, oh, that's cool. So, and it has a built-in yarn cutter. So pick those up. They were all on sale. And this is the bag, Jillian. See the side? All these little pockets for your balls have separate zippers. You put them in, thread your yarn up through the grommets, and then just pull from the center. Using it, there's a piece of Velcro here. So you stick the yarn there if you're not using it so it doesn't fall down into the hole on you. And then you have to go searching for it. The space inside for your project. It's a good sized bag. So if you're working on a blanket or whatever, there's plenty of room. So I thought it was cool. Thanks, Helen. Yeah, not tangled up is right. Okay, so Peerless Watercolors. If you're not sure what they are is wonderful sheets of paper, a special paper, with pigment sealed on them somehow. I'm not sure if they're heat laid down or I don't know what the process is. They've been made for over 150 years or something. But it's a specialized paper so that when you wet the pigment, it releases the pigment. You can see some areas that I've, used. So what I have here is just a journal, okay? And I didn't put anything in the front in the first set, so that this page and this side is empty on every page, so that if I'm using this and I want to go to another color, I don't have to worry. It's going to go on to there, and it's not going to go on to another color Peerless. And it does leave some pigment here. I can pick it up next time I use it because it will dry. Right? So these larger ones are their basic 40 colors. Hi, Joycey. Yay. Hi, Suze. Mary Maxim, money, Mary Maxim. Okay, and so then what I did was I needed a way to swatch them and to be able. Obviously, I couldn't put the samples inside because I didn't want to have to keep taking the card out to use it, right? So I just took some very cheap watercolor paper. It was like the Michael's Artist Loft brand. And I walked into the store one day and got one of those like clearance deals that was like, I don't even think they sell their watercolor paper this way anymore, which is probably, but it was like 100 cheaper and it was like $2. And I mean, yeah, this is not the greatest watercolor paper. This was when I was first starting watercolor, but I mean, even if $2 paper. Anyway, so that's what I used to swatch it out, put the name on it. And some of them you will see the Joanne there. Name Eileen. What artist is it? Joanne, someone will know. Yeah, well, Jillian, that's why when I saw that each roll, instead of just being in a pouch inside, each roll has its own little compartment. So yeah, it'll definitely keep from, that's what I was thinking, keeping it from tangling. Okay, anyway. So Joanne, I just used my score tape, double-sided tape on the back of it, and it's sticking. So, yeah. Just use watercolor tape. Joanne, oh, I can't remember her last name. Anyway, so some of them are the complete edition, some are specialty colors by Joanne Bassford or whatever. Anyway, and then the smaller ones are bonus colors. They were just this 2x2 size. All right, now you have to swatch them because look at this. If you ever looked at that, would you think it was going to come out looking beautiful turquoise like this? Yeah, no. So you have to swatch these. Thank you, Joanne Sharp, Eileen. Thank you. That's who it is. So I have them all done by color green, of course, because, you know, I should have started with yellow, like all watercolors start with yellow, but you know me. Anyway, greens into the teals and blues. I actually used that for something. I don't know what I was painting. I don't know, it must have been a flower. This looks like Opera Rose. She probably Googled it, CB. Got something on that. Reds, yummy yellows. I mean, look at that. Would you ever think that that was going to come out almost like a yellow ochre, sort of? Not quite yellow ochre, more like a gamboge, I guess. More like a gamboge. And then you've got your worm. That's more like the yellow ochre. And then into the neutrals. Anyway, So that is how I store them. So it's easy because use them. So I'm going to use them on my watercolor project today. All right. Okay, Monique. Okay. So, let's do a quick flip of my journal. I love flipping through my journal. I still do it myself every now and then. So these are the watercolor month prompts from July, and I haven't finished them yet. I'm still moving on. I don't date them. I just sunny days. That was without reference, just out of my brain. Next one is delicious. Being from the East Coast, up here in Eastern Canada, we have the best lobster. I'm sorry, buddy. Ours are even better than Maine. And I've tasted Maine, and I've tasted lobster from other places. Tasted it out in BC, and it's not as good as ours because of the cold Atlantic Ocean. Then this was primary colors. So I used alizarin crimson, I used cerulean blue, and yellow. And then this was, family moments. Shades of blue. Well, I must say, Ian, I have not tried UK lobster, but you guys probably have cold. You guys have cold Atlantic Ocean too, so it's probably pretty good over there as well. Joanne Sharp, Joyce, you probably know who she is. She is the one who did that. One of the first ones to do the lettering classes. She did a workshop the year I did not Project Life Book. Was it Life Book? But it wasn't lettering, it was a whimsy flower thing, and I really liked it. But this, I think, might be one of my favorites. This one is Simple Things. Nothing more simple than a glass of water. And as you guys follow me, you know how much I love to paint glass. And then, sorry, I'm keep flipping back to the prompt so I get it right. Oh, playing games. My dad loved playing horseshoes when we went camping. So this was in honor of my dad. Flying high. Climbing mountains. I like this one too. I really like how this one, there's quite a few I really like how they turned out. Hey, me. And then, what's after climbing mountains? Oh yeah, light and luminous. So of course I had to do the Northern Lights. Aquabee watercolor paper to a friend in the US. As in bee paper, you mean, Ian? Just a second. Beautiful blooms. And that is like, I was in a rush that night. I wasn't patient enough to do much with that one. This is the first time that I did an animal of any kind that I was like happy with the result. Now I was lucky because this bird didn't really have, I don't know if it was a picture of a young bird or if it was just the way the picture was taken, but it didn't have detailed feathers. It had just kind of very light, fluffy, plumy stuff on its breast there. So I was able to kind of get a good wash there. I was happy with how this one turned out. Yes, Ian Jackson. Yes, Ian, we have been raving about the bee paper. I actually have a bee paper journal, but I'm not going to open it till I finish this Kilimanjaro one, which I also really like. This is a Cheap Joe's Kilimanjaro, and it's really lovely paper. Then the next one was, Eileen made me do this one. Well, sort of. This one was fast and loose, and I could not think of anything to do for the prompt. So I was like, okay, I'm going to do what Eileen bugs me to do all the time, slap down some color, and then find flowers. So that's what I did, and this is what I ended up with, and it's okay, but you know. So, yeah, Eileen. I knew you would like that one, Eileen. I love this one. Sweet treat. No, not sweet treats. What was it? Oh, yeah, sweet treats. These were actually Rita Pops. So, it is, Ian. You know, I started with the Fabriano's. We're on the Fabriano Studio, which is 25% cotton. So it's better than all, 100% pulp paper. And like, I actually did okay with that because I was doing glass and detail, and the pulp paper is like not bad for detail, like to a point. And it was pretty good. But then got some of the Fabriano 100% cotton paper, and I'm like, I don't think I can even go back and use I'm going to use my studio paper that I have for my swatching, because I can't see me ever painting on anything other than 100% cotton paper ever again. It makes more difference. It makes more difference than the paint. It makes more, I have found in my experience, it's only a 2-year experience, not quite 2 years, a little over a year and a half. In my limited experience, the paper makes more difference than the paints and the brushes. I made the most progress when I switched to the 100% cotton. Now, took a lot of getting used to, soaks in, and also how long it stays wet, and but if I had started on the 100% cotton, it would have been an easier progress, I think. But anyway, that's it. I'd say the order of importance is paper, paint, brushes, in my opinion. So, especially when you're starting. Spend your money on your paper. You can spend money on decent paints. And then, you know, or as good as you can. I mean, if you can afford Shinhan PWC, not the professional, the PWC are top. $6 for a 15 milliliter tube, the Shinhans, here in Canada, so they're probably cheaper in the States. That's what I had when I switched to my 100% cotton paper. And how do you get it smooth and even? Suzanne, I use a credit card. I use a credit card. Ha, there you go. CB read my mind. This one, and this was the first one that I used my Kremer paints on. And I have the Kremer #1 set. And it took a lot of getting used to the Kremer because compared to my M Grams, which are still my favorite, Shinhans are second. The Kremers take a long time to get wet. I had to get used to the amount of pigment I needed, and I wasn't putting enough water in with the pigment. But once I got that under control, the color set that I have is awesome for sunsets. So I may, they're half pans though, so I have to figure out if I can, I'll have to take them out when I do sunsets and stuff. But anyway. The next one was casting shadows. So of course I had to choose a bottle. Hi, Norma. Yay. Casting shadows. This was another, yeah, the casting shadows. I did this with my Kremer too. I love how the wood turned out. And the shadows, okay. The bottles, eh. City Life. See, there's those Kremers in that lovely sunset. I messed it up over here because I went back over it when it was like half dry. So I kind of messed up that splotch, but the rest of it I love. And then In the Jungle was the next one. Elisa knew what this was right away. 4 years old, and my sister showed it to her, and she goes, "Oh, that's a monkey in the tree." I was like, yay, she knew what it was. Yay. Poor monkey's got a pretty big butt. Shaping him after myself, I think. And then this one was, the last one I did was Rainy Days. Thanks, Joan. So, turned out kind of cool. Elisa also knew this was water, sunset in the water. She thought this was something sitting in the water, though, and it's like a water drop or something bouncing up. But anyway. Oh, Travis, your first set of Daniel Smith watercolors. Oh, you don't know how you're going to wait. Anyway, so, hey, Faith. All right, so this clue is, I guess I should put the paper up, wet and dry. So I should put the picture up. I forgot to put the picture up. One moment, please. Find my picture. Let's see. Here's the picture. And you can tell, I hope, that it is a water droplet on a leaf. So part of the leaf is wet, part of the leaf is dry. Let me put it up in here as well, and then that way. So there's the photo. Oh, you got the Shinhans, did you, Suzanne? Nice. Got the PWC ones, I hope. All right. Okay. All right. Back to my desk. Okay. So I am going to use my, shall be interesting, my Peerless for this. And I think, oh, well, darn, well, my spritz bottle's almost empty. You know what? I'm going to put some of my drinking water in here. It won't take much. Because I'm too lazy to go out and fill it in the kitchen. All right, now I need my iPad so I can see the photo close enough. Oh, my niece Elisa, Nova Scotia, which is like the neighboring province. I live in New Brunswick. Nova Scotia is just south of us. And they started a pre-primary. In Nova Scotia, kindergarten is called grade primary. And they started a pre-primary, in other words, junior kindergarten program at school. And Elisa was able to get in. They registered her today. My niece thought that all of the places would be filled the moment it was, because, I mean, if parents don't have to pay daycare anymore, they can get, their 4-year-olds into school and it's free. She thought for sure all places would be filled, but they weren't. So Elisa is all excited because she's going to school with Till. She's not allowed to take the bus, though. So she has to be picked up and dropped off, which is like smart, because who wants 4-year-olds on the bus with all the hooligans? Oh, one moment. I said it and then I didn't open my painting. There we go. All right. So first thing I'm going to do is the background. I have to draw. Actually, that's not the first thing I'm going to do. I have to draw in. Okay, where are you? Pencil, there you are. I have to draw in the water droplet because there are some white areas that need to be, and it's not a perfect circle, so I should be okay freehanding it. Putting it lower on the page. Maybe I shouldn't. I'll put it up where it is in the picture, up in the top third instead of the bottom third. Okay, come on. Pencil. All right, so that's all I really need to draw. The rest, maybe not. Maybe I should draw the edge of the leaf. No, I don't want to draw the edge of the leaf in because I don't want the... Oh, sorry, I got all Twitter pated by the silly Ustream. I was all ready to go, or Ustream, YouTube. So this is Kilimanjaro 100% watercolor paper. Oh, for goodness sakes, Jean. Can I paint around it? It's just one spot, but I just wet it. Oh, for goodness sakes. I can't put masking fluid on wet paper. So all right, hold on. I've got to dry at least this spot so I can. Didn't get too much in that circle area. All right. Do 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 do. Do, 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 do. Gotta take the cover out of this because I don't want to end up with magicals in my... Don't need much. It's almost ready for the graveyard, that bottle. This isn't all pure white, but some of it's barely green, so I'm going to kind of do it at the end so that I don't... Okay, that should work. Clean it off with a baby wipe since it's silicone. All right. Now let that dry. Well, for me, it used to be scrapbooking. Then it became art journaling and mixed media. Now it's watercolor. Since I was about 10 or 11, I remember when I was 10 or 11, seeing some watercolor paintings by a local artist where I grew up. And ever since that time, I thought, oh man, I really want to learn to watercolor. Then a couple of neighbor ladies, like my mom's peers, were taking some watercolor classes. And I remember thinking, oh man, I want to take watercolor classes too. But of course, even by 11, I was heavy into the music and dance and band and tap and ballet. And there was no time for watercolor lessons. Well, then our tap and ballet teacher left when I was 13. Well, just turned 13. Her husband got transferred to a different town. He was a bank manager. And so, of course, that left us Saturdays afternoons with nothing to do because our dance session was over. So Mom told us she signed us up for art lessons. And I was so excited because I thought, oh, I'm going to learn how to watercolor. Well, it was charcoal and pastel. And I was like, anyway, I did okay. Like, considering we were drawing from still life from a distance, we used to have to run back and forth to see details and stuff. But I actually did pretty good. But you can? Well, I mean, CB back then I was 26 pounds when I started school at 5 years old. So I was skinny when I was little. I was nothing like. Then I hit university and I put 5 pounds on a year and the rest is history. Oh, really, Ian? Oh, yeah, you've seen pictures of me, CB, so of course you know. All right, now I can wet this and start with my greens. So I'm using this green as my light. It's light green from the complete edition. So it's going to start my background here. And yes, this bows and wrinkles, but I just go with the flow. I could tape it. I've seen people tape their journals to like the next pages and stuff like that to hold them down, but okay. Well, I've done a couple of coloring book pages, but I use them to practice shading and stuff because I'm no good at drawing yet. So I use them to practice painting fabric and faces and stuff like that. So now I'm just going to my page and bringing the paint to the paper. And my brush is not wet enough. And now, while this is still wet, I'm coming in the background with a darker green. And this one is called Grass Green. Ooh, that is bright, Jean. I'm going to have to bring in some darker other than that into it, because that's like too green. Well, it's too green for the picture. It's never too green, if you know what I mean. All right, that's darker green. Oh, that's still not right. I don't know if the right color is here at all for what I want. What color will work with that? It's not really an olive green either. Okay, I'm going to try something. Let's see how bad this works. Where's my reds? Or should I just use gray? Let's see what happens if I try a gray. Oh, there we go. That's kind of what I'm looking for. So I'm just adding gray on top of that just to shade it down a little. Okay, so that's good now. That's pearl gray. Wouldn't have worked without the other green there, but because it's shading the green. All right, so now I'm just going to try and blend this one a little bit here. Okay. I just need to add a little more green on top of that because it got a little bit too gray. All right, so let's let that dry for a moment. Oh, Art of AB. This is 100% cotton. Hold on, I'm trying to find my 100% cotton Kilimanjaro paper. Oh, did I say Himalaya? Yeah, Kilimanjaro paper from Cheap Joe's. Uh-oh. Didn't notice I didn't get all the way to the top there. Bye, Joie, Joey. Thank you for coming. Rest well. You can see I'm getting a bit of a line there because the paper was starting to dry when I was blending, but we'll see. I'm going to fix that. All right, so now I need to add another layer. And I think I'm going to use the olive green as my second layer on this area, except for the leaf area. And I think I'm going to do wet on dry, because I don't know if this is going to pick up if I wet it or not. It's still not dry. Hold on. It's not quite dry. It's 100% cotton. It takes a while to dry. Oh, it is. It's very nice. Actually, Art of AB, I would compare it to the Arches 140 pound myself. It's 140 pound, 100% cotton paper made by Cheap Joe. It's Cheap Joe's in-house brand, but it is a really nice journal. I really like it. Arches is not my favorite. I know it's a lot of artists' favorite, but I like the Fabriano Artistico 100% cotton paper better. But I'm using both Arches and the on my other paintings. Oh yeah, it takes layers and layers. It will peel if you scrub much, but even then it takes a little bit of abuse, so not bad at all. All right. So I'm going with the olive green for this next layer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to wet it up to the point. I decided I am going to do my wet on wet instead of as a glaze, because, yeah, that's just the way I roll. So I have to, oh, that's what's wrong. I knew something wasn't feeling right today. Now I'm on my little slant. All right, so now I'm going to make sure my brush is nice and wet and go on to my olive green. Start from the corner where it's darker. And oh yeah, that's good choice, Jean. So the lighter green still kind of helps it glow, but this has to be darker than the leaf. So this will help calm down that really bright greenness that's going on. And I'll be able to do a better job of the blending here, I hope. I've never tried Saunders. I'm not a hot press person. I don't like the way the paints react on hot press. All right, so now I'm gonna wet the area underneath. I'm just looking at the shape of the leaf here. I'm going to turn this around because it gets dark from this lower corner here. This is the first time I've used the Peerless on hot press, or I mean on 100% cotton, so that's interesting as well. Okay, there's the background. I will dry that. Hazy. Interesting that olive is really showing some, almost like a yellow ochre coming through there. Yeah, well, you find it easier to draw details with? That's what everyone says. I don't know, maybe I need to try one of my glass watercolors on hot press. I don't know if I've ever tried. I know I've tried landscapes and some. Of course, I'm not good at drawing like flowers in detail. My detail specialty is glass. I love painting glass and reflections, which of course is why I chose this picture, because of the got a little bit of green invading that. I hope I can fade it out of there. I didn't notice it, or I would have. I'll see if I can. Let's see if these Peerless lift. Let's see if the Peerless lift or not. This pad is, Darren bought this back from the States for me. It's 10 by 5.5. But I would prefer to work on like 8 by 10 or 9 by 12, or even like 7 by 10 instead of the 5.5 by 10. It's a little more panoramic than I like. I like it a little bit more portrait landscapey size. Know what I mean? Eileen, you're bad. Oh, there she goes. All right, let's see if these Peerless will pick up. Where's my little pickup? Oh, brush. I don't know where it is, my little orange handled one. I don't know. Anyway, I'll try this one. It should work. It invaded my water bubble. Not too bad. Okay. So next, I think I need to do the leaf. Yeah, I know, Norma. Yeah. Yes, Z, we heard. How exciting is that? Guess I'm going to have to contact Stencil Girls, see if they want a new designer. Oh, I gave my stencils a chance. That's okay. I'm good. All right. So I'm very excited and happy. All right. So I'm going to use my olive green for the shaded underside of this leaf. Here. So what I'm trying to do is just go in and paint shapes that I see rather than looking at the whole leaf. I have to go in with a fairly wet brush. I know, should have drawn it in, but you know, this is good practice too. This is the watercolor, not the paper. Don't know what's happening. All right. Make it darker in through. And I have to add another layer, of course. Move to a new spot on the Peerless because it's kind of giving me some paper along with the paint. So I'm just kind of blocking in the darkest shadows. Yeah, I have like 88 stencil designs up on my blog, but I don't make them. I sell the digital files as of right now. So, oh, I shouldn't do that, Jean, because you're going to get back. Darn it, going to get blooms. Dry it, Jean, and go back in. Don't be silly. I ate some sunflower seeds before I came on, but I'm starting to get hungry. All right. My voice is finally improving from last week. I had a bit of my asthma decided to have a little fun with me. Wednesday night and Thursday, coughing and wheezing. Now, I may have to come in with some gray glaze over this again to darken up the darkest areas here. Have to define this edge a little better here. Because it has to show that the leaf is turned there. And I didn't leave. Okay, I'm gonna have to do that once it dries. Okay, so let's try that layer. Oh. Oh yeah, Jillian, that was on Skip the Dishes. That was on whatchamacallit? Amazing Race, Canada. All right, so I need to lift. Let's do that lifting before I forget. Or else I'm going to have to use white, one or the other, and fix it. Just a thin spot right here needs to come out. Let's see if I can get a little more water on it with my don't want to pill it, but I don't have to. Okay, I may have to use. We'll see. It's turned a little yellow there on me, darn it. But anyway. Okay, so now let's see if get my gray here to go over the darkest dark spots here. Oh, one gray. I should use my lining brush for this. Okay. All right. Now I just need to do some other shaping of the leaf here. I need to do some. Uh-oh. Ah, see, don't dribble. It lifts very easily. Dang it. What's your barrel? Ferrule, I mean. My ferrule dripped some water. Okay, so I think I need to go back in with this grass green. No, it's more of a yellow green. So I'll go back to that first green that I did, the light green. And put in some highlights along this dark area here. If you look close at the picture, there really is green. Yeah, I mean, a fair amount. I mean, I put down a lot of that olive, and look, you know, like it barely made a dent. They'll last quite a while. Now, normally, I've used these for painting images on cards and stuff. Normally, I don't do, you know, you're certainly not going to want to do anything larger than this, I wouldn't think. Oh, sorry. That's still my breathing a little zonky there. Apologize. All right, and then I'm going to brighten up this edge up here as well. When you're working with a measure palette, these brushes are actually quite nice because the silver black velvet holds a nice amount of water. So I'm just going to dry brush some of that color on this side, because this side is quite, I ended up with a line there that I don't want, but that's supposed to be kind of fuzzy there. So I'll see if I can brush it out some. And there really is like some yellow. I've got to find a, there's that nice yellow ochre color. No, actually, I think it's this yellow. I think it's this yellow, amber yellow. Oh, a little too much, Jean. Let's get some water in there. That's all right. I can go. It's just supposed to be hints of yellow, Jean, not the whole leaf. Silly girl. All right, and I still need more of this green along the top edge here. It has to be a little thicker here. Kind of blend it with the olive. And then a little wee bit of the yellow, amber. Back to this. I'm going to try and make a mixture of this grass green and olive green to dry brush over here. So I'm going to take some off the palette and I'm going to put it over on my plastic page over here. So I'm taking some from here, putting it over here. And it's plastic, not ceramic, so of course it's going to beat up, but I need to calm that down a little bit. So I'm going to add some, so I'm going to mix it. And then kind of dry brush it here. I need my larger brush. I was going to try and dry brush it, but now I need to add more water because it went on too dark. So Add it on, dab it off. Story of my life. It's not nearly as faded as I want it there, but I can't really work any more on it because it will totally, and I'm not doing a very good job of this leaf, but anyway. All right, time for the fun part. Time for the fun part. All right, I'm going to make sure that everything around my water droplet is dry. Yes. Yes, I am. Thursdays at 1 is my other day. I was sick this past Thursday I was coughing and my voice sounded like a husky man's voice. Thanks, Joan. All right. Oh, okay. Now this is the fun part for me. All right. Okay, so I'm going to wet my water droplet. So the one thing I've noticed that I don't like, and I guess it's because you're going from pure pigment onto the paper, that your pigment does settle. All right. It's settled along that line. So I should have made this whole thing wet, but only gone a certain distance with my watercolor and like let it spread so that it didn't settle at the end of the water line. And it's much more difficult to control that because you're going like directly from pigment to paper instead of, I mean, I guess I could have gone pigment to pan to paper, but all right. So I need to add a little wee bit of, so I'm actually going to take some of my olive green and I'm going to put it over on the plastic sheet because I really want to control how much I put down here. There is also not as much of a color shift when it dries as there is with some other pigments. You don't know the whole chemical makeup of watercolors to know exactly why that is. But anyway. All right. So this under here has reflection of the leaf. And it's actually Bye, Abby. Sorry, I probably missed you already. Oh, good. I didn't miss saying goodbye. Now, see this olive green? When it dries, it kind of separates this like ochre color, kind of halfway between an ochre and a browny yellow. I'm not sure what color it would technically be, but it separates out when you use it in a light coat. That I find that very interesting. All right, so I need to also make a very dark area here. Oh, I don't think I had any water in my brush there. How did that happen? Let's try that again. Oh, it's not dry. I have to let it dry. Now, right in there, there is also a shadow. Let me show you in large size here. Inside the bubble, there's like I think it's like a brown leaf or maybe bark from a branch that's also reflecting in there. Yeah, it's like branch. So, I need to get like needs to be like a sienna color, and let's find what I can find that's close to sienna. That might work. It's called Bismarck Brown. I think that's about as close as what I'm going to get. Yeah, Bismarck Brown, I think I'll use. But I also think I need to go to a smaller brush, detail brush, to control this. Well, not that small, Jean. So, got a Da Vinci number 2 detail. Oh, sorry. Got to go back to my... So, I've got a number 2 detail brush here. Thanks, Eileen. All right. So I'm zoomed in on my iPad here, so I can see there. You can see what's inside the... So now I'm going to work on this bottom part a little bit. See what I can... Won't be quite as detailed as what's in here, but I'll get a little bit of it in. So I'm going to put the brown parts in next before I go in and add more. I might have to make it just look like one area instead of 2. It's not anywhere in the picture anyway. It's like obviously from down below here or up above, actually, probably, because it's just too small for me to see. Then there's some... Gonna go back to that yellow. Amber. And just a little bit of yellow over here. Oh, now I see. Oh, I should have went up close on that leaf. Okay, hold on. This leaf. All right, hold on. I need to fix my leaf. Actually, I'm going to start it with yellow. I'm going to start with my amber. I'm going to do a layer of the amber and then put the green over it. Because this leaf, I didn't realize that this was like actually the leaf under here. This leaf. I didn't zoom in enough to notice that that was the leaf. Now I'm going to go in while that's still wet with my greens. So you're able to flip back and forth. I don't think this little Da Vinci brush holds enough water to even pick up enough pigment. So I'm going to go back, use my small. Yeah, my paper's fighting me a little. That's okay. All right, so I think what I need to do now is dry this so I can take my masking fluid off and get the rest of this in here. Yeah, enjoying. Yeah, it's different. It's totally different, Eileen. It's like totally different technique. Because you have to remember that you're going in with these like straight pigments. But I am, for this detail in here, I am going to make my thing a palette here because otherwise I am not going to be able to do this. So I am going to take some of my olive green and put it over on the plastic. And then I'll use my detail brush and pick it up from there. And it needs more water because this isn't going to be too dark. It just needs to be. Okay, so let's do this kind of trees that are just putting a little bit of detail in here so that you can see that there's trees. Just adding some shapes. And then on this part, oddly enough, Well, actually not oddly enough, because it is a glare and I didn't have it masked off very well. So I'm going to I'm actually going to put a little bit of white gouache on that. This paper's not white, so it's going to kind of look funny, but anyway. This is the Turner gouache because it was on my desk. I'm just going to cover up that part that I didn't have. There's a little green in that highlight that I don't want there. So I'm just going to go in with a little gouache and hide that. Because that's kind of the most important part, is that highlight. Oh, Dorothy, you should use them on your, when you paint your flowers and stuff and your birds, because you do detail. It really is, they really are fun to use. It's just different. It's quite different, but it's fun. But yeah, they would work awesome on your all right, so on this, there is some yellow. So I need to get a little yellow on the bottom. Not the yellow ochre, the amber. Amber's what I was using. So there's amber right just along here. And then there's a little bit of blue. Of course, because blue shows up when light is reflected. It's kind of a turquoisey blue. So I'm going to try this. It might be crazy, but if I get it light enough with some water, it should work. Well, not that light, Jean. All right. All right, so now all I need to do is kind of use my, almost done. Use my olive green to kind of help this water droplet stand out. And now I'll go to my all right, and I need to try and add, now that that green is dry, I need to try and darken up just that one spot underneath here. Right here. I think I'm going to have to go back to that gray to get that darkness that I want. That gray worked. Pearl gray. So that I can blend that in. It's just lifting. So they don't like to glaze as much as others. With my engrams, this would be no problem on this paper. Glazing again. There we go. All right, I just didn't have it picked up right. Okay, there we go. So that helps make that leaf look a little better there. And I think maybe I just need to bring a little bit of that up into the bottom of the droplet as well. I'm not keeping enough. I'm too scared of these brushes. I'm not keeping enough water in it. There we go. All right. I think if I go much further, I will just make things worse. Hey, Helen. Welcome back. So I think I'll dry it. This really should have a light green over it, but these Peerless do not glaze well enough. So I'm just going to leave it. The highlight is whiter because I did add the gouache anyway. So thanks, Eileen. So I don't have time to start another one. What is the next one? So this was Wet and Dry. Oh, Glorious Gold is my next one. So, of course, that's going to be a sunset. So I think that I am going to stop there for today. I know I got started late, so it's not as long as usual. But anyway, thanks, Joan. As long as you look from a distance, it kind of looks realistic. If you look too close, not so much. Thanks, Jillian. Thanks, Norma. Thanks, Kimberly. So we'll see you guys tomorrow. Dr. Dot is on Pandora's Box. Click, if you're not following her, click the 3 dots by her name and follow her and hit the bell. She's streaming tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern. She streams usually every second Tuesday is what she's been doing. And then my afternoon is going to be spent sorting through all my yarn and getting my yarn put away because I need to start Christmas presents. So, anyway. Thanks, everyone.